Well, gang, happy day after Christmas. I hope y'all had a great Christmas. Oh, wait a minute. No. Happy Thanksgiving the day after. It's only Thanksgiving, Dave. Don't get ahead of yourself here. So, we got a great show for you today. We got Matt Dahl coming on the show. He is a war hero. That's how I met him at War Heroes on Water. But he is doing my passion. He is fly fishing and taking people fly fishing and teaching them about fly fishing. But this man gave so much to our country and he gives back like you can't even believe. So I'm happy to have him on here as a guest today. But first of all, gang, have you guys seen Lisa's lobster? Oh my gosh. Lisa went out fishing with Captain Al Clowers and got us just day before 2 days before Thanksgiving and got herself a monster. She is in the Monster Lobster Club now. Look at that thing, 11 pounds on a certified scale. I know you guys have caught bigger and you guys have caught more and all this stuff, but Lisa's very, 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 very happy that she was able to get an 11-pound lobster. This thing is an absolute brute. It's made the rounds on our social media and YouTube, and she's going to be featured in Western Outdoor News this week. She is absolute killing it, going out with Justin all the time, and then she tried her luck in San Diego, went out with Captain Al Clowers, and they had a phenomenal night. They ended up getting 17 lobsters, and 3 of them were monsters, 11-pounder, an 8-pounder, or 7-pounder, and a 5-pounder, and then a bunch of fill-ins there. What a spectacular night with Captain Al Clowers. And I want to thank all of you for watching that. That was pretty cool. We're going to go live again on Monday night with Captain Justin Bottrell inside of Long Beach, LA Harbor. I'm just letting you guys know we're not going to have the podcast on Monday because my good friend Ron is down here and Kelly Girl, and we're going to go out fishing because the weather is beautiful in Cabo, like 80 degrees. The water's 80 degrees. The fish are biting. Wahoo, Dorado, roosterfish are biting. We're going to go try our luck, go out with Casey on his beautiful boat and see what we can catch. So we're not going to be with you guys on Monday until Monday night, and then we'll be with Justin. So we're not going to have the podcast, but Monday night we'll be entertaining you guys with the live lobster fishing. But hey, gang, enough of all that. Let's get this guy in here and let's talk to him about what's going on in your life. How did you get into this fishing thing? Matt, how did you find fishing?
At a very young age, I grew up in Minnesota. Parents would take me and my brother Donnie fishing out quite a bit, and then was really fortunate enough at about 2 years old, we'd go down to Florida. My dad was a private estate caretaker for a uh, big company, and he would go down and help out with the boss's house. And he was fortunate enough to be on a sport fishing team down there for sailfish off the Keys and stuff like that, and cut my teeth fishing in a bait well, swimming in a bait well, handing bait to the guys while they were fishing.
Yeah, how big were you?
Started when I was like 1.5 to 2, so they just plopped me in the bait well in the back of the boat, and I'd swim around with the bait.
Isn't that spectacular that you remember that like it was yesterday? That's what I
Oh
try
yeah,
to explain to everybody. Take your children fishing. If you don't like to fish, I'm sorry. Somebody
yeah,
screwed that up when you were young. But
oh yeah,
don't make your kids pay for that. Take them out fishing or find somebody that can take them fishing. So
exactly.
you remember when you were 1.5, 2 years old going out fishing or handing out the bait or doing that is life experiences that we can't you guys don't know how valuable that is. And talk a little bit more about the childhood fishing stuff because that's what intrigues me the most. And it's so cool to hear someone talk about it.
Yeah. At the same time, his boss also had a cabin up in Canada that we were fortunate enough to use up on Rainy Lake. And even though I don't remember the early years, I have plenty of pictures because my mom would always take pictures of everything and everything in between. Maybe too many pictures at a time, but uh, we'd go up walleye fishing up on Rainy Lake, go up to the international bass fishing tournament in Rainy Lake as well. Watch the Linder brothers; those were kind of my idols growing up. Midwest legends for in fishermen and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, just walleye fishing, Lindy rigging, trolling for walleye, jigging for walleye, and then once I grew up, I found pike and muskie and smallmouth bass, which in my mind they fight way better than the largemouth. But uh, yeah, just a lot of lake fishing in the Midwest, and then it's really my childhood. Just lake fishing, creeks, carp fishing.
That pike, that is it. That's bucket list fish. I want to catch a pike. I don't. Me and my son, we fished in Arizona. They have one lake there that has pike. We caught one that was as big as an anchovy. We
Oh
took
man,
a ton of pictures. That's the only pike either one of us have ever seen alive. That is just an absolute bucket list fish for me.
yeah, they're pretty fun. We'll have to link up and get you out there and get you onto a monster.
Absolutely. So when you were young and you were fishing all the time, did you ever think that you would be doing it for a living?
Never really thought about. I mean, I always dreamed about it, but didn't know how I'd go about it. And then after the military, which we'll get into later, but
Yeah.
it just really connected. And once I came out west, fortunately, unfortunately, I got into fly fishing. It's kind of a love-hate relationship. But out here, it's in Washington State. It's pretty prime fly fishing. It's not Montana by any means, but it's pretty prime.
It's my zen. I love it. I
Yep.
absolutely eat it up. I love getting out on the river and it's just you and the fish.
Yep.
And there's nobody asking me how much longer are we going to fish here, Captain? Are we going to move? When are we going to move? Can we move? I was out on Jimbo's boat last year and we fished over here at this time. I it's like turn the switch off and just zen out. Get in the
Yep.
river and zen out. That is the most spectacular thing. It had to be for
Hmm.
you when you came back from deployment. That had to be the zen that pretty much
Oh yeah.
is saving your life today, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I actually got into fly fishing because I was got pretty beat up over in Afghanistan on my deployment, one and only deployment. Came back and the army sent me to Seoul, South Korea, and I was talking to my brother off and on, and he's the one that actually introduced me to fly fishing. And at the time, I was like, "Well, where the hell am I going to fly fish in South Korea?" And I was looking, and there was the I can't remember the name of the river, but there's the Yongnoon River, I believe, that runs through downtown Seoul. It's just a bunch of carp, and then kind of bit the bullet, and I got a guide up in Gangneung, which is northeast, up on the border of North Korea, and they have cherry trout over there. And I mean, you're laying on your belly in little streams trying to catch trout that are 6 inches long, and that's a trophy fish.
Uh, I I know a 6-inch trout's a trophy fish because that's what I do. That's my thing. People don't get it. They don't understand it. It's such like this fish. That's a huge trout for me, man. That is
Yeah,
a huge trout. But you know, as far as fishing goes, as a life-saving thing, it's so important for people to understand because there's so many entities out here today that are trying to take this away from us in
oh yeah,
some way, shape, or form. I want everybody to understand Matt is not only a fly fisherman and he's a great father and he's got another baby coming on the way, but you are a war hero. And I can't thank you enough for the time that you served for your country and what you did. But can we go into what made you feel like you needed to go serve your country?
yeah. At a young age, I think I knew, and my parents knew, probably around 4 or 5 years old, when I wouldn't stop talking about it. Never met my grandparents, my grandfathers, but they both served, and uncles, stuff like that, kind of family lineage, and it's just something I knew I wanted to do at a young age. And then I had a uncle who would talk to me off and on. He was a Vietnam Korean war veteran. He was injured. Uh, Kind of a long story, but he was injured over in Korea, I believe, and he was pretty banged up. And he tried to talk me out of it, but then he finally figured out that he couldn't talk me out of it, and just wanted to go and save the world, if you will.
Right, right. So what was deployment like? Where did you go? What did you have? What happened? Where tell everybody about this because this is an important story for people to hear.
Definitely. So I deployed with the 170th MP Company to Kandahar, Afghanistan, and we were attached to 22 Infantry, and we were doing like biometric stuff, doing clearing missions and stuff like that, all on foot. And March 7th, 2011, almost done with the deployment, we were on a big clearing mission that was going through Argonaut Valley, or the outskirts of Argonaut Valley, which is a pretty prestigious place for the Taliban. It's like their birth area outside of Kandahar, and it's a big transit way for them. Anyways, we were doing this route clearing mission. Sorry if I pause a little bit, but it wasn't a route clearing mission. We were talking to some local farmers, and the rest of the squad, they were up talking to a farmer down this alleyway, and me and three other guys were pulling security out the corner overlooking a field. And I was talking to kids like always, handing out candy, pens, stuff like that. And uh, the last thing I remember is I took a picture of these two kids in front of me because I was taking pictures. I think it's something I got from my mom, just taking pictures of everything. And uh, that's the last thing I remember. And I woke up on the ground about 15 feet away from where I was standing because I stepped over there's a little footbridge over a wadi. It's like their irrigation slash sewage system. It's all in one. And there was a command detonated 50-pound HME, which is homemade explosives, underneath the little footbridge that was no more than a foot and a half wide and maybe 3 feet long over the wadi. Woke up pretty concussed, dust in the air, and medic running over to me, me looking over at my other buddies who also got injured. It was just didn't realize it at the time, but it was really close to not making it back. Luckily, it rained out the night before, so it kind of, over in Afghanistan, they have like a moon dust for dirt, or it's just like a really fine baby powder dirt almost. So the night before, luckily it rained out, really compressed the explosion. Instead of the explosion going up, kind of billowed out. So I got pushed away instead of flying into the air, which saved my life.
Thank God. Thank God. So what were your injuries like?
So I had a TBI, severe concussion. I had small amounts of superficial, like the shrapnel, just cuts to the face. No large shrapnel, luckily. Uh, Hit by rebar that was in the bridge, and then I got medevaced out from that location, sent to a COP, a combat outpost that was nearby. Luckily, there were a lot of other units that were on this mission, so they're readily available, which also helped out. And then I got medevaced out to Capt for it's about Kandahar Airfield, which is the big southern base. Uh, I was there for about a week and a half getting medically treated. Having Don't want to talk down about any treatments, but getting pills pushed in my face left and right. And then once I was healed up enough, I went out back to my platoon and finished out the deployment.
Unbelievable. You had to go back?
Yeah, so I luckily limbs were all in place and stuff like that, but just highly concussed. Once I cleared concussion protocol and all that stuff, TBI screenings at the time that they thought was good enough, which I personally don't think it was good enough, but that was for the big main push in Afghanistan back in 2010, 2011. And then we finished the mission out and came back home.
I can't even imagine what it must have been like there. It's when I hear you guys' stories, and I've heard quite a few over the years working with War Heroes on Water, I'm blown away. Nobody ever says they wish they weren't there. They're proud to have served the United States of America, and they're proud men and women. And I'm just blown away. I met lots of people missing legs and arms, and they're proud. They're just super proud, and it's just blows my mind. I am such a wimp, and I don't know. I would be sucking my thumb in a corner. You put me back out there again after we got blown up. I don't even know if I could move. How can you even go out there and walk around after something like that happened?
I think that's where, I mean, with this generation, I know Vietnam and stuff like that, those guys didn't have as much research on PTSD, but I think this generation, we were over there fighting ghosts. Like it seems like we were fighting ghosts, so I think that was really mentally taxing. Just because, I mean, yeah, there's firefights, but half the time you're getting blown up by people that are quarter mile away, having an overwatch position, and you just don't see anything, and then you get hit last second. But going back out, I tried to keep the, it sounds tacky, but keep the mission in my head, and actually seeing what we were doing. We were clearing out places and actually having school buildings built by engineers, helping the children of Afghanistan. And unfortunately, in 2021, that went downhill, and now they're back to their old ways again.
So we talked a little bit about this. Talk about the War Heroes on Water event that happens in Newport Beach, California. I talk to a lot of guys, and they're always thinking when they go, what do they want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? We don't want anything. And that's what
No.
kind of blows all the men and women away when they come to this event. They're taken care of in a way that you can't even comprehend. Can you kind of talk about that? Let everybody know kind of what goes on in that event and how special it is to see when the parade goes through Newport Harbor.
Oh
How
yeah.
does that make you feel? My God.
Oh man, for that parade, I was in tears most of the time. Uh, I mean, I didn't find out about War Heroes on the Water until about 2 months out from the event. Mike Neers called me from Freedom Alliance, and he's like, "Hey man, you trying to go fishing in a couple months down in California?" And I was like, "Well, I'd love to, but what's the catch?" And he's like, "Yeah, everyone asks that." And sure as shit, excuse my language, there was no catch. Went down there, and I was lucky enough to a gentleman I served with, Jose, who's in that picture as well of us on the pier.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in damn near 10 years, and he was he was in another squad, but we were kind of separated during deployment. But he was one of my mentors, and that was the first time seeing him in a long time, and just watching him get off at the hotel because I was the first one there, and we just sat down and we were like, "Man, is this even real?" And that was the beginning of it. Then that following the next day, we went to Anthony's house for like the welcoming ceremony, if you will, and that was walk through the doors again, tears in my eyes, like holy shit, is this real? Like what is this? And then come to find out, getting to talk to everyone, you, Beak, all the founders and all the main captains that really put everything together. It's just unbelievable how much work goes into it just to have us down there for 5 days.
Well, we can't thank you enough. You and everybody else that's served anywhere in the world. We cannot thank you guys enough. So when I was asked by Anthony to be part of War Heroes on Water in the inaugural event, I had no idea how much this would touch my heart. And I'm just a civilian. I'm just a guy. I'm just a little wimp that wouldn't even go. I don't know how I would handle it, but this is the best I can do to give back to the men and women that have served. And I take it very prideful that I'm able to even give a little tiny bit of me, and I'm there every single year. But what I really love is you guys are in such awe that people actually love you and care about you, and that you guys are so special to every single person that's coming out, waving the flag on the end of the pier, on the docks, on the bridges in Newport Beach, California, and then going into Catalina and seeing everybody on the pier when we do the weigh-in and then have the cocktail party. It's just incredible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I can't even put it into words. I still can't put it into words. That was months ago. But it's just that feeling of support, like us veterans, combat veterans, any veteran in general. We view those that support us as our heroes. So it's kind of a battle for who's who and whose hero is whose hero. But definitely view you guys as our heroes. So just want to let you know that.
Well, thank you very much. Another thing, like you were talking about, you met a guy that you had been to Afghanistan with and you hadn't seen him and you were just blown away. When you guys walk in, and I want other veterans we need more veterans. I mean, let's be
Mhm.
honest. We talked about it last year at the event. We need more veterans. We're not asking for anything from you
No,
guys. We don't want anything, right?
there's absolutely nothing. I mean, food, everything, lodging. When you're out fishing, you're on the boat. If you're lucky enough to be on a boat that has a cabin on it, I mean, you're still on a boat because you're on a mothership that has a cabin, but it's you don't have to do anything. You just put your name in the hat. If you can make it, be sure that you can make it 100%. Because if you don't, you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass. Like, this is, I can't, I can't put it into words. I don't know how to explain it. You literally don't have to do anything besides show up, make your flight. Flight's paid for, lodging's paid for, fishing's paid for, fishing licenses, food. The captains and the boat teams are all generous enough to cook you food every night. It's crazy.
It's pretty bitchin' when those yachts pull up to the docks, huh? You guys,
Oh man.
for you being a first timer, it's like, what do you mean? We're getting on this yacht. We're getting on that yacht. What are you talking about? Yeah.
So me and Jose, we were the first ones out of the hotel because we're both. I mean, we still fish, and when we're fishing, we feel like little kids, just like everyone else that's fishing still to this day. And we, or I was the first one off the bus and the first one into the house, and just seeing all the donors, the supporters, the family members of the captains, and all the crew members of the boats standing there just clapping, walking in with everyone behind me, and I froze. I didn't know what to do. I just stopped and looked around again, tears in my eyes, and there was got handed a little beef Wellington about the size of a $50. Didn't know what to do with, and put it in my mouth. And next thing I knew, I was on a Grady White going across very rough seas.
Yeah, it for the first time you experience it, it is absolutely amazing when you walk into Anthony's beach house, the one in the
Yeah,
harbor, and like you said, all the guys are there and the gals, and they're all happy to see you. And we're just, but what I've talked to over the years, they all the war heroes we've ever taken, they hesitate so much in the beginning because they think there's got to be a catch, right? There's got to be a catch, but
I mean
there's no catch.
that's what it feels like. And then you roll up to the second house on the second night, you see Bugattis out front and all these sports cars that I've never seen in my life, and then walk through those doors, and all of a sudden there's all the family members sitting there waiting for you, all the captain's family members from all the boats and stuff. Kind of just clicks, and you're like, wow, this is really for us. Like, all these hardworking people are putting their time and money into this, and we get to experience this trip of a lifetime.
It's amazing that Anthony Shea, there he is right there. He walks the walk, gang. He is not just a talker. He's not throwing money at this thing. He has actually participated in it every single year. His boats, his blood, his sweat, his tears, because like he tells me all the time, it's the least we can do, Dave. It's the least we can do. These men and women have, and he lives a very, very, very blessed life, but he worked hard for it. Don't get me wrong. He's a self-made man, but he wants to give back to you guys. His best friend was a tunnel rat in Vietnam. And so he understands this and he knows how special it is. And every year he's there for you guys and he is right there walking you through, right? It's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, just talking to all the captains, like, it's people say there's a brotherhood in the military, brother and sisterhood in the military, but when you connect with people that are supporting you, like it, when I haven't seen Jose, the guy that I was lucky enough to be on boat together with, the guy that I served with. He was kind of my mentor getting into the military because he already had years in before I showed up to the company. But anyone, like, just talking to anyone at the house, like sitting there mingling and networking, like, there's just a connection there that hits right away, and you're talking like you've known each other for your whole life, which is crazy.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have eaten some of the same dirt. You guys have been in the same holes. You guys have seen stuff that we can't even comprehend. And when you guys get out there on the yachts and you're on the back deck of the yacht and you're sharing your experience, strength, and hope with each other, and we just get to hang in there and listen to the story a little bit and be a part of that. It's so gratifying for us to know that we can just give back a tiny bit and get to hear your guys' stories. Your stories are incredible, just like the story you told. And there's so many of those stories. But one thing we need to talk about is how close so many people are to not seeing tomorrow. They're ready because they don't understand that there is this giant community out here of loving and caring people that want to give, and they just think they're all by themselves. And if they just reach out,
Yep.
there are so many things for them, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's just to touch on that again. I mean, there's been numbers kind of strewn out over the years, but on average, and anywhere from 20 to 23 veterans take their lives a day. Combat veterans, veterans that haven't been deployed, it's just a plague that's hitting the community. And even being back, like we didn't have a miserable deployment by any means. Like it wasn't northern Afghanistan or it wasn't Ramadi, Iraq. It was bad, but it wasn't bad by any means. But when we got back, even coming back, deploying with a small company, like we've lost 3 guys since being back, and it's just never ending. But as long as the veterans can find an outlet, whether it be fishing, hiking, other organizations that are out there that climb mountains. I mean, there's so much stuff out there for veterans. It just needs to be networked and promoted more, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's what we're doing right here, right now.
Yep.
We're talking about it because there are so many men and women that struggle with it on a daily basis. I was made aware of this in the very beginning of the first War Heroes on Water. I was unaware of this, and this is plaguing you guys and gals that come back, and it's just the phone weighs so much and it's so heavy and it's hard to pick up and it's hard to dial. It's just you're caught in that loneliness. And
Yep.
I want everybody to understand that we're all here for you. And Freedom Alliance, we can't talk about Freedom Alliance enough. And the guys at Freedom Alliance, they'll answer the phone. I'll answer the phone. But Freedom Alliance is doing stuff that we can't even comprehend.
No,
Scholarships,
it's
the
crazy.
the things that they give back is just absolutely amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have so many programs. I mean, there's for extremely injured veterans, they have vehicle programs where if, you know, I mean, sorry, I got to wipe my eyes.
That's okay. That's
They,
what we're
uh,
here for. This is real.
they have so many things like scholarships for your kids, for wounded veterans. They have vehicle programs. They have housing programs. Like it's the things that Freedom Alliance does is hands down. Like you can't thank them enough. Again, like you can't thank you guys enough. Taking your time to take us out there. There's just so many things out there, and it's almost dumbfounding. You can't wrap your head around it.
Right. And then Elliot has something about up on this that talk when you do your give back with Sims. Can we
Yeah.
talk about that for a little bit? I mean, I know
Yeah.
I'm touching on I'm pulling on your heart right now,
No,
but
definitely. But speaking of kids and fishing, my little guy, he's standing next to me, and
oh,
just wrote,
cool.
he just wrote me this. He's like, "Can we go fishing today, please?"
Nice.
And then he
Heck.
wrote on another page. He said, "Yes or no." Yeah, the Sims thing and Soul River, which was a nonprofit that took part in. I was one of their board members and volunteers for quite a while. Kind of drifted away from that after having kids. I have a 7-year-old and a almost 3-year-old now, and like you said, another one on the way. So the volunteering kind of had to go to the back, but started driving down to Portland every weekend. This was back in 2016, I believe. And kind of after I started my fly fishing journey, there's a Navy veteran. His name's Chad Brown. He was in Somalia, very traumatized by the events that happened there, just because short time and there's so much stuff happening. He was, I believe he was on the medical side, but he was seeing all the aftermath of the guys coming back, and that was no joke. So he found an outlet, and again, fly fishing saved his life. In the fly fishing world, we have a hashtag fly fishing saves lives just to kind of promote it. But it was big. He had this vision, and the vision's still running strong today. And where we take inner city youth or at-risk youth out on these big, extravagant expeditions. First, they start out on the baby steps where we do a couple local stuff, like at just in town, like at Oxbow Park in Portland, taking them out fly fishing, like fly fishing 101. Then, if they stick with the program long enough, they get to experience these things down at like Bears Ear National Monument or go up to the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge on 2-week long float trips. You get flown in on a bush plane, dropped off with your gear, your boats, inflatable kayaks or inflatable canoes, and then you don't see anyone besides your group for about 2 weeks. Then you float down and just have the experience of a lifetime teaching these kids about conservation and everything in between.
That is super cool. I would love to have that opportunity to teach those kids. That must be so rewarding and such a great feeling and such a bitch and give back, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, there's so many little subdivisions of fly fishing or subcultures of fly fishing. Really got into it when I came back, and I guess the one that really sparked my interest was there's this group that goes around and they do fly tying nights at karaoke bars. They teach people how to tie flies, and then the next day they take them fishing. And after that happened, I went out to the Olympic Peninsula. So I was at a karaoke bar, and it's called Pig Farm Inc. And sorry, little guys
No,
here.
that's the best. I love it.
Yeah.
Bring them on. Grab
Oh yeah.
them and pick them
Do you want
up
to say
and
hi,
put them
buddy?
on your lap, buddy.
No. Okay.
Come on.
He's pretty shy.
Okay.
But there's this group called Pig Farm Inc. and it's just a bunch of skaters, a bunch of people that you don't think would be in fly fishing because fly fishing is typically white collar CEO type fishing. At least it was back in the day. But we were there. They were doing tattoos in the parking lot, which very healthy. With Jay Johnson, he's kind of a well-known fisherman in the fly fishing world. And there he is. And yeah, woke up the next morning, kind of hungover out on the Olympic Peninsula, and we were fishing for steelhead. And that was my first time steelhead fishing. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This culture is really cool. People are wanting to give back. I mean, in any fishing situation, people are wanting to give back, but it's just wild.
It's a great story, guys. Listen to this video can we listen to it for a minute, Elliot?
Oh yeah.
May I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, with passengers by the name of Elliot travelling to Miami.
What happened? It stopped. Hello? Is it playing on somebody's end? No, it's not playing.
I don't hear it on my end.
Yeah, it's not playing, Elliot. I don't know what happened. Hello? Hello, hello? Oh, well. If he gets it up and gets it playing, we'll listen to it. But
Sounds good.
But back to the give back and these kids, and you and me, we know how powerful fishing is. We know, we got it. We understand it. We own that disease. And like your little boy right now sitting next to you, the only thing he wants to do, Dad, is have you take him fishing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, with everything going on in the world, all he sees is, can we go fishing? Can we go fishing right now? That's crazy. That's crazy, gang. If you don't understand how powerful fishing is, just look at Matt's little boy hanging on right now. He just can't wait for Dad to get off here so he can take him fishing. Even if you can't take him, at least you could talk about it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing about Washington State. I mean, with the rules and regulations, which I understand, but it's pretty tough fishing right now for getting out on the water at least. But might be able to get out squid fishing tonight. Go jigging at the pier for some squid.
Oh, cool. Anything, right? Any type, just putting your line in the water is what it's all about.
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about how you got started. We talked a lot about what happened to you. Let's talk about how you've changed. I know you take care of the ice, and we'll talk about that a little bit, but let's talk about how you transformed into this fly fishing guide.
Yeah. So kind of dipping my foot in it, not knowing what to do, at least career path. And then I was like, well, I like fishing. Don't really like talking to people, but that kind of eased up after I was guiding for a bit. But started working at local fly shops, commercially tying. And once I got the tying thing underway, was making stuff mainly for like Christmas Island, bonefish, stuff like that, tarpon toads for like a floating fly for tarpon and stuff like that. And after that, I just looked at the wife and I was like, I need to do this. Like, I need to make fishing full time. And granted, that took a little downfall after kids, but for the better. I'll get back into it. But started working at shops, guiding full time, doing trout, like Eastern Washington in the summertime for rainbow and cutthroat trout on the Yakima River and stuff like that, doing full day floats, drift boats, rafts. And then in the wintertime, transitioning to steelhead out on the Olympic Peninsula, which is, if you like fishing, it's going to test if you like fishing going out there in the wintertime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anything from single hand fly fishing to spay rods in the wintertime for steelhead.
All right. Elliot thinks he may have the sound thing figured out here. You dropped the Wi-Fi at his house. Let's try this.
May I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, with passengers by the name of Elliot traveling to Miami on the BA293. Please proceed to gate.
A lot of moving pieces going on right now.
Is this the video?
Oh, it fell off again.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. We'll forget about it. It's not working. I
Well,
don't know what happened. All right. Well, let's go back into your guide service thing.
Yeah, I was guiding for shops and throughout the state, just doing trout. The summertime, got into bass. We have tiger muskie out here, which is a hybrid between
Those tired eyes. A lot of people
pike and muskie. They don't spawn just because they're hybrids. They're sterile. At the lakes out here in Washington, which are few and far between, not compared to Minnesota, but yeah, just grinding day in and day out, getting like 250 days on the water.
Oh, that's great. You can make a living doing that many days.
Oh, definitely. I mean, as long as mentality wise, as long as you can fish in the wintertime for steelhead and stuff like that on the fly fishing world, like you're set in Washington State. As long as you're going by the rules and regulations, which kind of skimp everything up a little bit, but the seasons out here are way less than elsewhere. I should say that, just with timing and day wise.
Right. So you have a website we could post on?
I do not. Just my Instagram.
Instagram. All right.
Yes.
Elliot will throw that up there in a minute. You guys can check him out, see what's going on with his guide service. What an incredible thing that you get to do. I mean, I wished I got to take people fishing for 50 plus years, but I just absolutely love fly fishing. I really do. I like tying the flies and then going out on the river and tricking the fish.
That's the thing I wouldn't shut up about when we got back to the pier. Going back to War Heroes on the Water, is we had a pretty tough going, as you know, leaving the boat parade, going out to the open water. It was pretty
it was rougher than hell. Come on, let's be honest. It was rougher than hell that first day.
I can't remember the length, but I think we were in like a 35 or 38 foot Grady White, and I was sitting at the back, and we were balls to the wall going over to Catalina. It was getting dark out, and I looked at my buddy and I was like, "Are we doing this?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're doing this." And the captain kept looking back, and it was pretty cool. We were with two Air Force veterans, and that right there was an experience in itself, just getting across to Catalina Island to anchor up for the night and get a little bit of rest before the next day. And
then you guys got on a mothership, right?
No, we stayed on the Grady White. Yeah, we stayed out there in front of Avalon the first night, and then the second night we stayed out in
San Clemente Island.
No, we were over. So we went down to San Clemente the first morning when that weather front was trying to push in, and then right when we were leaving, all the other boats showed up behind us, and we went to the north of Catalina, and then we stayed in on the east side of the island. There's like a really picturesque cove, like Cherry Cove or something. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Cherry Cove.
Yeah, Cherry Cove. And oh, that's cool, buddy. And yeah, we anchored there for the night, and that's when we busted out. Hey, where'd you put that rod? Did you get that rod? Let me see it. That's when we busted out these bad boys,
Oh yeah.
the ice fishing rods. And that's when Jose landed the award-winning calico. He got first place in the calico division.
Oh yeah, he did. That was a great award. That was cool to see
Yeah,
him get that too. That was
that was
awesome.
awesome. That was
That was
awesome.
pretty spectacular.
We were using all the bait that got beat up on the way over, and we were just dead. They were dead, and just jigging it at the bottom and letting it sit there for a bit. And that's when he got that 5-pounder that bit on, and that rod was tipped to handle in a very fast time.
How cool. What a great experience though, really, right?
Oh yeah.
Just everything, just all coming together and the whole thing and the camaraderie is what's really spectacular for the War Heroes. But as you work in the fly fishing, as you work as a guide, taking people out fly fishing, there's nothing more rewarding than getting them their first fish, right?
No, especially on a fly rod and in Washington State, everything pretty much has to be barbless. So it's like we can only do so much for them where we can get them on the fish, but if they don't keep that line tight, they're missing that fish. So really rewarding with fly fishing.
And I'm sorry if you were talking about what kind of fish you catch, but is it mostly trout? Or are you fishing for
Yeah,
everything?
so no, pretty much everything. So it's just what you want to specialize in. Like fly fishing is pretty specialized. A lot of guys stick with trout just because that's like the vision of fly fishing. And then wintertime steelhead, you can do carp like on the flats of the Columbia, which is pretty sweet. It's like bone fishing, wading in knee-high water, fishing for carp. And like there's everything in between. You can fly fish for anything you want. I mean, you can sailfish, tuna.
Right.
So,
But up there in Washington, it's just steelhead or it's trout and it's salmon. Is salmon a thing?
yeah. So there's salmon, trout, summertime, and then we have sea run cutthroat trout, which is very specialized for the region, for the Pacific Northwest, going into British Columbia and basically the Pacific Northwest, Oregon coast, Washington coast, Puget Sound area.
Yeah, I had April Volke on here. She's a big steelheader. I don't know if you've ever watched her, but
I've
she
ran into her a couple times at one of the shops, and I've watched most of her podcasts.
Yep, those are her fish. She was blown away when I told her that sea lions are eating all the fish. Where'd you go, Matt? Your little boy clicked you off. Your little boy clicked you off of there. Here you go. He's back. There you go. You're back.
Sorry about that.
Your little boy's helping you, huh? He wants to go fishing, Dad.
Yeah, I've seen April all across. I mean, she's an amazing fisher lady. She knows what she's doing. She's probably one of the most fishier people I've ever seen when it comes to a fly rod.
Oh yeah, she knows what she's doing, and she's very, very protective of her steelhead. And she was blown away when I got to telling her about how the sea lions are eating the steelhead. She didn't believe me. The next thing I know, we're down this rabbit hole. Then we're doing podcasts, her and I, with Indians and fish and game biologists and fish and game directors of Washington talking about the steelhead getting eaten by the sea lion. And you know what? There's not a damn thing we can do about it. Sea lions are the most they're the most protected animal on the planet. They got way more rights than you and I.
That is true. So in Washington State, I mean, everywhere it's a pretty touchy subject, just fisheries and stuff like that. But you can go down to the Cowlitz or the Columbia at the mouth, and you just see hundreds, if not thousands, of sea lions, seals lined up, and all they do is take a bite out of their tummy and let them go because that's the most nutritious part.
Right. They're just slaughtering the salmon and the trout and the steelhead, and they're, like Matt said, they're taking the belly. That's all they eat is either the smelt or the eggs, and that's it. They leave the rest of the animal to rot on the side of the bank. And something that everyone should know, they were not here first, and they don't have a right to eat all these fish, gang. There's an overpopulation of the California sea lion, and like Matt just said, nobody wants to talk about it. This is a very, very touchy subject everywhere on the planet Earth because of the fact that they're So cute. They're so damn
Yeah.
cute, Matt, right? They're so cute. They're not cute though
I mean,
when
it's an
they're eating your.
experience seeing them swim by it when you're wading out fly fishing for sea run cutthroat. Then all of a sudden you see this 1,000-pound sea lion just cruise by you and you're like, holy shit. But then you see them off in the distance at the end of the mouths of the rivers and you're like, yeah, they're having a heyday with all the fish that are coming in.
Yeah, they're devastating the fishery.
Yeah.
Devastating. You and I have zero effect on the fishery, but the sea lion, they eat 35 pounds of fish a day. They're just wiping it out. It's sad.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's absolutely ludicrous that we can't talk about it. Not allowed to talk about
Yep.
it. Like Matt said, blow away. We're not allowed to talk about it. So let's go back to talking about fishing. What is your very, very, very most favorite fish to fish for as far as fly fishing in the rivers, in the streams in Washington?
Fly fishing, that's kind of a tough one, but I would have to say bull trout.
Bull trout.
Bull
There's a
trout. So
bucket list fish. I went up to Oregon and tried to catch those things. I couldn't
oh
even
yeah.
find them. Couldn't even
Well,
find.
it's like a consolation fish when you're out there swinging for hours on end, not getting a bite when you're spay fishing. But you'll up on the Sauk and the Skagit, which are pretty hardcore rivers when it comes to Northwest rivers. I mean, there's the Olympic Peninsula, but the weather systems that move in when if you're out there on a drift boat or a raft, like you're stuck in it. You're not out of it until row for another 6 hours, and you can be out of it. But yeah, bull trout are hands down some of the coolest fish to catch in the Northwest, I would say.
That is awesome. I would love to catch one. I tried. I went to Oregon. I looked for them. I never ever found one. Never found one.
Yeah, they're pretty neat fish.
And then as far as rod and reel fishing, what do you think?
That's a toss up now after War Heroes on the water. So unfortunately I didn't land a tuna myself, but we were grinding it out every day, and then the last day about 2 hours before weigh-in, before they did the flyover, which was cooler than heck to catch. But we were in between San Clemente and Catalina, and finally came on this pot of tuna. I haven't seen a tuna since I was maybe 3 or 4 when my mom caught one in Florida when we were out fishing. And all of a sudden, just to see all these tuna boil like a mile out, just seeing these flashes everywhere, I just stopped and I was like, holy shit. And the captain was like, yeah, we found them. And then we cruised over and he's like, all right, guys, you guys only have like maybe 5 casts. We were throwing poppers and trolling. I forgot the name of the big jig that everyone, not jig, but it's like a big Rapala.
Mad Mac.
Mad Mac. Yeah. We were trolling that. And Jose, my buddy, got onto one. Or, I'm sorry. My rod bent over. I went to pick it up and it was off. And then we were trolling a little bit longer and got another one and he landed it. It was like a 25-pound tuna, which was sweet. I mean, I know they get massive, but just seeing that and how long it took him to get that one in, and he's a bodybuilder and he's sitting there suffering trying to bring it in. And I'm like, holy shit, that's so cool. And I was just laughing and smiling, even though I wasn't reeling it in. And we got it in. And then I had a chance to throw poppers that the tuna that were boiling. And the captain's like, all right, man, you got one more toss. And I tossed it out. No luck. And then we had to cruise back because weigh-in was in about, it was like 45 minutes, and it was about a 47-minute boat ride back to
You
Avalon.
want to be there for the flyover.
Then right when we pulled up, we were blasting Metallica coming in, thinking we were hot shit with that one tuna, which was so cool. And all of a sudden those planes fly over with their smoke screen going, and that was an experience.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Yeah.
Now, would you suggest to every vet out there that you should apply it for War Heroes on Water next year?
Oh, definitely. I've been spamming everyone. I'm like going to different veteran groups on Facebook, Instagram, saying, hey, if you guys have the time, sign up for it. It's typically around the middle of June. Or I'm sorry, middle of September.
Right.
And I'm like, you guys need to do it. It's life-changing. It'll keep a smile on your face for I don't know how long, because I haven't been over a couple months, but there's still a smile on my face about it.
And it saves lives, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it brings a whole new meaning to your life.
And it
It's just
saves
crazy seeing the
lives.
support. Yep.
And what a special thing to do today's show is talk. What do we all have to be thankful for? Well, we have guys like Matt and the men and women that have served. And that's what we really have to be thankful for. And fishing, we got to be thankful for fishing, because fishing saved my life and fishing saves Matt's life on a daily basis. And he's got that little guy jerking on his shirt right now who wants to go fishing so bad. I just want to scoop him up and take him myself. Come on, Matt.
Yeah, I got to get him down there to chase some roosters with you.
Yeah, come on down. Come on down. So real quick, we're going to finish this up right now. Follow you on Instagram. Tell everybody how because Elliot lost his Wi-Fi, so he ain't here anymore.
Oh, that's fine.
How can you find you on Instagram?
Yeah, just Instagram. The handle's PNW_ice guy, and that's in regards to currently I'm a ice technician for the hockey team, so nothing to do with the other ice, but the hockey and ice. And yeah, just find me on there, chat, connect, and see where it leads.
Absolutely. And you guys check Matt out. Make sure that you let him know you saw him on our podcast. And anything else that you want to bring up, Matt? We got a couple minutes. You want to promote anything that you got going on? I hope that your next baby is healthy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's finally saw her on the ultrasound the other day for the anatomy scan, and she's doing well, and Mama's doing well for the most part, besides the mornings. And yeah, just super stoked about that. But in regards to advertising for anything, I would say War Heroes on the Water. If there's any other captains or boat teams that want to sign up for it, if you guys can, it's life-changing for everyone, not just the veterans.
Absolutely. You guys check out freedomalliance.com. Our War Heroes on Water, spelt out War Heroes on Water. And you guys can check out the upcoming War Heroes on Water that goes off next year in September and see all the great things. But also, it's a year-round thing. This isn't just at the War Heroes. Freedom Alliance is giving back so much to the men and women that have given everything they can possibly give for this great country. So what we need, man, is we need money. We need money. We need money. I can't say it enough. You guys donate to save the frickin' sea lions. I don't even know why you do that. Or you guys give money to you put money in a box and ship it off to save homeless people that the homeless people never see it. Every dime that goes to Freedom Alliance goes to the men and women that need the money. They need it. And it takes all of us. So when you're over there at Freedom Alliance, kind of donate something.
And it's not just for the fishing. I mean, everything in between for that trip and all the other stuff they do. They have snack bags for the veterans once they get in, all the apparel, everything in between. And I mean, there's counselors talking to guys. It's not just fishing, even though fishing, I would like to say that, but fishing's the caveat to all of it.
Right. It's the icing on the cake.
Yep.
But yeah. Well, gang, I can't thank you enough, Matt, for coming on today and being part of the show. And thank you for your time. Take that little guy fishing. Thank you, Elliot, for producing a great show. Everybody for watching this. And you can share this with your friends and family, Matt. It's going to be available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone, Threads, X.
I think the family, the mom and dad and brother and nieces and his wife my sister-in-law are watching in Duluth, Minnesota right now, I think so.
Nice. Well, hello, family. Hello, everybody. Cool. That's awesome. Thank you very much for being on here. I told you it would take an hour. We're less than an hour. You can take care of your little boy and go be the best dad you can be.
Sounds good. He's getting pretty antsy.
Absolutely. I can feel it from here. All right, buddy. Take care.